Greetings and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kerry and today I'm bringing you another tag video. So this is the Summer Loving tag. I'm not sure who made the original video, I've not been able to find it, but I saw it on Amanda Venture's channel, aka The Naughty Librarian, and she essentially tagged everyone watching. So I was watching, so I thought that looks fun, I'll give that one a go. So without further ado, question one is, start of summer, a book with an attention-grabbing first sentence. For this I have picked Our Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller, and the first sentence of this, well, it's actually the first two sentences, I've slightly cheated, says, "This morning I found a black and white photograph of my father at the back of the bureau drawer. He didn't look like a liar." So I thought that was quite attention-grabbing. I actually met Claire Fuller at a Meet the Author event. She's fairly local to where I live, and she signed the book for me. I hadn't actually read it at that point, but she read excerpts for it, and yeah, it's a really good book, so do check it out. She has another book called Swimming Lessons, which was published last year, and her third book is out later this year. But she's a really good author, and I really enjoyed this one particularly, Our Endless Numbered Days. So do check that out. Question two is, too hot to go out, a book for a day in. So the angle I've taken with this one is when it's really hot out, I like to read things that make me feel cooler. So I've gone for Brother in Ice by Alice Kopf. So this is a very interesting book. I really enjoyed reading it. It is partly about the main character's research into polar exploration and the different things she learns about, and so about various different attempts at polar exploration across the years, but it's also about her relationship with her brother who has autism, and so can sometimes feel like he's communicating from within a block of ice essentially, and that's where the title comes from. I've not ever read anything like it before. It's filled with pictures of different polar exploration, research notes, and it's just, as I say, I've not read anything written in this style. This is published by an independent publisher called And Other Stories, who I actually have a subscription with, so I receive 2 of their books a year, and if I can find it, my name is actually in the back there. You may or may not be able to see that, because I'm a subscriber, so I actually helped get this particular book published. You don't get to pick which books your name goes in, but depending on your level of subscription, you are contributing towards them being able to publish books every year. So check them out, And Other Stories. They're a great little publisher, and this was a really enjoyable book. And as I say, focused on snow and ice, so cools you down for a long hot summer day when you want to stay in. Question 3 is Summer Road Trips, which is a book you'd take on the road. So for this I picked a book that I haven't actually read yet, but it is about a road trip, so if I was going on a road trip I'd take it with me, and this is called No Good Brother by Keevil. This is about 2 brothers in Canada, one of whom has been in a little bit of trouble with a gang, and he's given one last job to do and ropes in his brother to help him, and they end up going on quite a crazy road trip. I also met the author of this one at another event, where he read excerpts from the story, and it was paired with songs written by his brother Jonathan Keevil, who's a singer-songwriter. It was really atmospheric. I've never been to a book reading quite like it, and I was just so intrigued that I immediately bought the book and got them both to sign it. So really looking forward to reading this one and seeing how it turns out, because I've had just enough of a taster that I really need to know what happens next. So looking forward to getting to this one soon, and as I say, it's about a road trip, so I think that's pretty perfect for going on a road trip. Question 4 is Iced Tea Goodness, a book with a cold setting. So for this I've gone for Starshot by Maurier and Constantine. This is again published by an independent publisher called Serum Books, and they mainly focus on Welsh authors or books written about or set in Wales. So this book is actually set in Cardiff. I used to live in Cardiff, and it's my favourite city I've ever lived in, and so this just brought back loads of good memories for me. So the concept of the book, it's a slightly strange book, I must admit, but it's really beautiful. So it's about a number of different people whose separate lives suddenly intersect, but one of the central themes of the story is that patches of coldness have started to appear around the city, and these are different people that are working to try and remove these cold patches, and that are just stopping people from going in to certain areas, making businesses close down, that sort of thing, and they can't work out why this is happening or where these patches of coldness have come from. So with a book that has a cold setting, well, it doesn't in some ways but does in others, but this was the one that came to mind. This was actually my favourite book of last year, so really highly recommended. Question 5 is Nasty Sunburn, a book you have disliked this year. So my choice for this book is called Himself by Jess. I don't actually have a copy of this anymore because after I read it I gave it to a friend, because while I didn't like it I thought she probably would. It's a ghost story / murder mystery set in Ireland. So the main character is trying to find out what happened to his mother, and he's gone back to the town where she lived to try and work out what happened to her, and he can see all these ghosts who try to help him solve the mystery, but they can't really communicate very well with him. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting concept. I didn't particularly like the execution, I didn't like the style of writing, but I did enjoy it a little bit in some ways, but yeah, it's definitely one of my least favourite books of the year so far. I think I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. But if you like murder mysteries and you like ghost stories and you don't mind a bit of swearing and crass humour, then you might enjoy that book. And finally, question 6 is Sizzling read, recommend a favourite book. There was only one book I could pick, which is my favourite book of all time, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm well overdue a reread on this one, and this is my lovely new 80th anniversary edition that I treated myself to with its gorgeous cover. So this is the story of the second wife of a guy called Maxim de Winter. We don't find out her name in the book, and when she meets him it's shortly after his first wife has died in mysterious circumstances, and when she returns back to his home Mandalay, she has to come to terms with living in a house that still feels very much occupied by his first wife Rebecca, even though she has died, and she has to come to terms with the servants and trying to find her place in the home, and all sorts of different things that happen. And I just really love this book. I love Daphne du Maurier's writing, and I think this will always be one of my favourite books. At the moment it is my very favourite book ever. I really love this copy of it as well. So this is really highly recommended. If you haven't read it yet, please go and read it because it is just excellent. And as they say, I need to reread it soon. So that's all for that tag. It doesn't actually say to tag anyone. I think this tag is a couple of years old, so if you haven't done it, then please go ahead and do it and let me know in the comments that you have, because I'd love to watch your answers to this. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!